Welcome in. Thank you for joining us. A little Wednesday edition of the Slate. And man, like as far as big Wednesdays go, it doesn't get much bigger than this one. We got obviously the US Open starting, my favorite golf event of the year. I mean, it's just the best. I love the US Open. We got the Stanley Cup Finals starting tonight. And man, Colin Sherwin back for another Wednesday. That might be the biggest news. DK editor, DK live editor, Colin Sherwin. Awesome golf guy. Definitely give him a follow. Loves to get in the betting as well. But Colin, tell everybody where you're at, man. What are you doing tonight?
I am coming to you live from a Airbnb in suburban Denver. I am leaving here and I'm heading to game one of the Stanley Cup final tonight. My beloved Tampa Bay Lightning, who I will not even try to admit that I'm not a completely biased Homer hack for. I have three of these jerseys. They're only playing 2 games here.
I was going to say, you have like the fancy, jerseys. Like variant jersey, like the special edition.
I have the third I have a practice jersey from the team that was actually used at their facility in Brandon as one of their, so it's like a gray line jersey, which is very cool. And I just brought the standard blue for game 2 if necessary. But we only break that out where we really need to win. So yeah, I am very excited to be here. It's so funny. We went to, I got off the train yesterday from the airport. The airport takes you take a train like right downtown. My friends call me and say, hey, do you want to go to the Rockies game? Drop my bags at the train station, walk over to the Rockies game. So I'm just wearing this hat and not even a Lightning shirt, just like a regular Adidas shirt. And I probably had 20 people yell at me, go Avs last night. They are very aggressive here in Denver. They think they've got this thing in the bag. They think it's over. And I guess being 12-2 in the playoffs makes them believe. But I've been to a lot of road games in a lot of cities before. I don't think I've ever seen a city where it's not like angry. It's just like, oh, we're going to win. There's zero doubt here in Denver that they're winning this series, which, okay, guys. Cool.
That's interesting. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Maybe it was just a lot of pent up frustration because they felt like, the last 2 or 3 years, like this is our chance. And then so much disappointment that now they're finally here. But that's interesting to hear. Yeah. I mean, yeah, if there's ever a team you're going to be super confident in right now, it's probably the Avalanche. I mean, this has been about as dominant a playoff run up to this point as we've seen. You could make some arguments against them. They played the Predators round 1. The Blues are good, but are they like really elite? They didn't have to play the Wild or the Flames. The Oilers obviously they're starting Mike Smith in net. So, but a lot of those teams were really good during the regular season too. So, and Colorado just made them all look foolish in their own way. So, they're a really good team. This is just 2 different styles colliding though in a lot of ways. I mean, Tampa Bay just going through that grinder of the East. Obviously, showing up Florida, but then, coming back from the Rangers and now it's just, what are we going to see with Colorado? Is this going to be like a cakewalk through and like another 5-game series or something? Or are we actually going to get them put to the test? I could honestly see either direction going here. So obviously the line right now, -150 Colorado to open. They're -175 on the series line on DraftKings Sportsbook. And then there's, you can play series props and stuff too. We can get into the Conn Smythe betting, but any like favorite bet of yours right now? Obviously, people know like he's got the bit of a Tampa Bay bias. He's also got Tampa Bay insight, so make sure you're listening. But anything that sticks out to you right now, like in today's betting, and I probably have some Tampa futures, but what sticks out to you today for this game? Anything?
Yeah, I like over 6. Over 6 minus.
Okay, good. I do too. I love that bet. I'm glad to.
Yeah, I think this is a game that goes over, especially with Braden Point coming back for the Lightning. I think both these teams score. The Lightning as they have progressed in the playoffs these last 3 years, as series go on, they get better and better again. They see what you want to do, they adjust to it, and they eventually take that away. But that does mean a lot of times in game 1s and then against the Rangers in game 2 as well, that they're going to get hit a little bit. They're going to give up a little and trying to see what they want to do. Kemper hasn't exactly been a wall. Obviously, the Lightning's by far biggest advantage in the series is in net with Vasilevsky, but the high blocker side has been just a bit of a problem for Vazzy so far. He's given up 20 goals in the playoffs, high blocker. That's where Denver's going to be shooting the puck. So I think that this could be a high-scoring game, especially as the series starts. Vasilevsky tends to see teams and lines and rushes better as series wear on. He tends to make those incredible saves more in games 5, 6, and 7 than he does in 1, 2, and 3. So I think tonight as an over, plays really well. So I will actually be on the over tonight. But otherwise, yeah, this seems right. I think Colorado, despite the rest versus rust theory, despite the fact that the Lightning just came off a 9-day layoff and they got smoked up at Madison Square Garden in their first game back, I don't think that necessarily carries over here. I think Colorado could come out and certainly win tonight's game. So I'm going to stay away from the money from either side, but I do like over 6 goals.
Yeah, I am in lockstep with you. I told you get good insight here, man. Like the Vasilevsky thing, it's so true. You look how he started against the Rangers. The save percentage was down the dumps. Like he was like 0.85 in the first 2 games. But what does he do? I mean, he's lights out in elimination games because he just seems to see things better as it goes on. So I'm in lockstep. I think that the Avalanche defense and being at home too, with them getting the change, they're going to get like Taves and Maker on there against who they want. The expected goal rate when those guys are on the ice are through the roof. So yeah, I'm hitting the over tonight as well. Too many things. And I think Point being back too, I mean, it strengthens Tampa Bay down the center. So you could say that's a good thing defensively, but I think Point is going to be more of like a power play catalyst. So regardless, I like the over tonight. I'm on Colorado in 6. So I'm not really like itching to get more Colorado action. I'm kind of like you, but yeah, I'm kind of looking at like the Avalanche. I do like their side to finish the minus 1.5. To finish it in 6 or less, plus 110. That's probably where I would lean. But I just think the series is going to be awesome for numerous reasons. I can't remember if I got your take on this already, but like for the awards, is there anyone you'd lean between like Maker and McKinnon, or do you think it's too close between those two? Or would you just like, I kind of like Kucherov mainly as like a hedge play.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I think. It's a great hedge play. Like I really do.
So looking at that now, where is it? I can't even find it on here.
Under awards.
I can't.
Oh, yeah, I should have it up. I've got my wrong. Of course, I'm sitting here. I'm supposed to be in charge of this, and I've got the wrong
street up.
I'm sitting here thinking I'm switching there. Sorry, guys. There's the Conn Smythe odds. There's Kucherov plus 400.
So you're actually getting this better because I am in Colorado. Since I am here, I don't see that right now. And I'm not sure if that's a glitch PK because I'm in Colorado. So I was looking to the screen and I don't see it. Yeah, I think as a hedge, Kucherov, I can see it. But in a high flying back and forth series, I'm not sure, the guy who's going to have to shut this team down is Vasilevsky. Right. So I think, Colorado is going to take outrageous amounts of shots. Their XG is going to be through the roof. And if the Lightning are going to scrape out here with a win, I think it's going to be through Vazzy. And now it just comes down to the voters. And the voters are going to be, okay, well, are we going to look at Vazzy's bad games? Some game ones, Toronto, game 1 against New York, some of the other games that he's had, especially earlier in the playoffs, or are we going to look at the fact that when it's step up time that he's been the best player in the Stanley Cup Finals? I think so. I'm going to lean a little towards Vasilevsky here. An up and down pace really doesn't favor Kucherov nearly as much. I mean, obviously he could score with anybody in the world, but he almost seems to rather pick apart defensive teams than try and fly up and down with offensive ones. So, and plus, let's face it. I mean, we all love at least in Tampa, we all love the big Russian. Not exactly like a defensive stalwart out there. He does tend to give up a few turnovers. He does tend to let the puck play in the neutral zone a little bit loosely, and it does tend to run back the other way a little bit. So with so many of the voters keeping their eyes on, especially these 4 to 7 games, I'm going to lean a little Vasilevsky to win the Vezina here.
Yeah, and I mean, again, like I think it brings up a good point. If Tampa does win this series, it's more like it's unlikely that Tampa's going to just come in and win a bunch of shootouts against Colorado. It's really not their path to victory, right? It's more likely that they win closer games. So yeah. I see that argument. Awards are tricky too. I don't really love betting awards ever. I just bring up Kucherov for the simple fact, and I always think about this stuff. He hasn't won the Conn Smythe yet. And I just feel like, you're dealing with humans betting or giving out awards. Biases like that come in. So it's always tricky when you're betting awards. You got to think about stupid things like that. But I think that for Kucherov, I would probably lean slightly to the other side. But to me, it's probably one of those two. Unless Stamkos does some silly, scores 9 goals. But you could always dabble on him too. Plus 1,500 there on the DraftKings Sportsbook. But anything else you want to mention about
You could have just locked in at 11-1 2 months ago in the Lightning. I mean, the gift was just sitting there. You could have just grabbed it then. Who needs these little prop hedges? Just bet it earlier. Bet it 2 months ago, like you were supposed to.
That's true. And I mean, again, like for sports betting purposes, these are probably two like the most bet teams in the NHL all year. I know Colorado definitely was like the most bet team. So it's just
bookies are dying out here.
Yeah,
this is
I think so. I know we talked about that a little bit. This probably isn't the most ideal result, but obviously there's a lot of bets on the board and stuff still. So anything else you want to mention from this? Anything, any other props or anything, or just anything else about the game, or things people should be looking for maybe down the road or whatever?
I think McKinnon is a plus 125 score tonight. Looks really good. I don't see how this game doesn't turn into a shutout. And so he, just 1 point. All I need is 1 point out of that guy. Come on, he can do that. So I'm a fan there. The power play is going to be so interesting. I think how these games get called is just going to be huge. If they choose to go in the direction of, all right, well, we're going to let them play, a more physical series is going to favor Tampa. If they switch that out and they choose to go, and really just sort of put a lot of teams in special teams, both teams are great on special teams, but I think that would almost favor Colorado a little bit more. So how these games get called, I think, is going to be really interesting. So let's watch 20 minutes of hockey and see what happens and see how they're going to let them play. But it's going to be, I mean, we're looking at how many shots on goal. I mean, can we bet both teams over 85, 90 shots on goal combined tonight? Because I'll take it. Like, I think this is
you could do goalie saves. I mean, that's actually,
yeah, that's the way to do it.
Wow, Vasilevsky's at 33.5.
Yeah, that sounds about right to me, actually.
That's interesting because, like, I know Mike Smith at some points in that series was like, you get him at like 30.5, 31.5. And like, I was betting it most nights. I think it hit almost, I think it every game but one, but that's interesting. 33.5. So that's probably been bet up for exactly the reason you're saying. And honestly, I don't really want to take the under at 33.5. So yeah,
no, that's it looks really high. Go over anyway.
Yeah. So I mean, if you like to bet shots, I mean, this is probably the route to do it. Obviously, injuries can happen or they get pulled, but most likely if Tampa or if Colorado gets 40 shots, Vash is going to be over that. So Kemper there at 28.5. Don't actually hate that either. So, okay. There you go. There's a couple extra player props. I love that goal scoring call on McKinnon. The plus 125 seems massive, especially for them at home. So, all right, that's where we're at in terms of NHL. Let's head to my favorite event of the year. I don't know. Is this your favorite golf event of the year? Like, what's your kind of cup of tea? Is it the Open? Is it the Masters? Is it guys shoot like eights on par threes like we're going to see this week probably?
I like the Open Championship. I have not gotten to get over there and play links golf before, but I've gotten to play a couple of links courses, and I just think it's way more interesting when you have to hit the ball 20 yards left of where you're aiming. Right. So I think it's super, super interesting, and I hope to get over there at some point, play some of that. But so I like the Open Championship, the history. It's really cool. I'd probably pick the Masters second. By the way, we should probably remind all our viewers that if you're going to get your Masters tickets in, I think you got about one more week to apply. I've had all of my friends apply for me, as I've done for years, and I will probably strike out yet again, but you never know. We can always hold out hope. And then, the PGA Championship would be my list. So I would say the U.S. Open is probably like my third. The setups are really fun when they're fair. And I think that we just want to make sure that the USGA doesn't go crazy here. The Women's Open was great. Minjee Lee looked great. That course was tough but fair. And they set it up really well. I just want to see the men's tournament set up the same way.
Yeah, and I think this venue is going to be a little bit more fun. Like, I'm not really a huge fan of Torrey Pines. It's just kind of like that big. There's nothing. No, you don't love it. You do love it. Okay.
My favorite course I've ever played in my life.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, I've never played it. I'm talking more just from a viewer standpoint. I'm just talking from a viewer standpoint. I'm sure it's fantastic to play. Trust me, I would probably love it if I played it. But from a viewing standpoint, it's like I like these creative little courses where they're kind of, there's little tricked out par fours and stuff like that. I think that's what you're going to get this week. Get some natural, habitat and stuff like that mixed in with the greens are kind of built around the fescue. I love that kind of stuff. It almost looks a little Open Championship, but it'll play tougher, obviously. So I think it's going to be a really cool week from that perspective. And I think that the shorter par 70, will bring in a few more players into the mix as well. So really interested to see how the Country Club was played. And it's just not a course we've seen like really ever, unless you were, remember the 1988 US Open. So
the 99 Ryder Cup actually wrote about it today.
Oh, the 99 right, and the Ryder Cup. Yes.
And but remember, this is also a different route. So they've actually they have an 18 and a 9. And they're using a couple of holes from the 9. And in fact, one of them, they're using first tee and second green from the second 9. So they're using 2 holes as 1 hole on the second 9. It's a very unusual setup that they've got. But the route will be a little different. The last 4 holes are the same, but the middle 5, it sort of interjects a little bit with the other course as well.
Yeah. And again, like if you're looking back at those results, I mean, obviously playing here you're going to get an idea what the course is like, but yeah, I've been trying to tell people all week that the same thing. Like it's really just like no one's ever seen this routing or this course before because it's just completely different. So in a lot of ways, yeah, like course history, not that we have much to go off. It's not really a factor, but guys like Matthew Fitzpatrick, obviously a lot of success here, won the amateur in 2013. So he likes it. I think Daniel Berger spends a lot of time here is another name. But let's just go through this, man. I mean, how are you approaching this week? Are you, from the top 5 guys, top 4, it's Scheffler, Rahm, Thomas, McIlroy. I know
you're leaving out your boy Cantlay. You're taking your boy Cantlay out of there.
Well, I'm just talking about the top 4.
Okay.
I'm just talking about top 4. I'm definitely I'm attached to like Cantlay and I are attached this week. He's every article I tweet out has a picture of Patrick Cantlay in it. So no, I mean, I'm going to be living and dying with that. But is there anyone you're betting from the top 4? Like, is there anyone's odds? Or you just like, I got to get on Rahm, I got to get on Thomas. I don't care what the odds are. Or is it a week where you're invested down the board?
I'm sort of hoping for a Rory McIlroy like 71 and 72 on Thursday, so I can get a better price. I think he's going to win this tournament, but 10-1, I'm just not getting enough number there. So I'm going to go ahead and lay off. I think McIlroy's the best player in the world. I think he's going to win this tournament. He's my pick, but I need a little bit better than 10-1 to get after it. Down the board, JT obviously playing fantastic golf right now, except for the last 2 holes at the Canadian Open, won the PGA, came out of nowhere on Sunday to do it. He is certainly somebody that's in contention. I would fade Rahm and Scheffler no matter what at those prices. I think they're just a little too overvalued right now for the way that they're playing. So I'm going to stay away there. And then we get into the Cantlay zone. And I know how my friend Jeff feels about these things.
Yeah.
So I think Cantlay will certainly be, that's a fair price on him at 2,000. I think that's probably a bet as well. But yeah, I'm just going to hope that McIlroy doesn't play very well in round 1 and probably hope for a little bit better price because I do think he's going to be able to come back and win this tournament.
Yeah. And I mean, that would be, Rory kind of starts out strong and then he fades and then he tries to make it all back on Sunday. What he's got to do is just be like, even just like in the mix for the first 2 days, get himself in that position. So that'll be something to look for. I'm very comfortable starting with Cantlay too. And I will look for opportunities. I agree. I'm complete agreement with Rahm and Scheffler. Scheffler, I don't even know if I bet Scheffler like plus 2,000. I know that sounds insane, but like maybe at that price I would have to, right? But I just don't think, I just think the guy mentally, it's just so hard to sustain for like 5 months. He was so good for 4 months in a row, like 4 full months. And now we're asking him to like come to the US Open after missing the cut at the PGA. It's just clear the guy probably just needs a little break. So Rahm is the guy, if you could get it like 16 or 18, I would probably have a little bit of interest in, but I agree. Like McIlroy or Thomas from the top 4 is where you kind of got to go. I'm not biting at these prices too, but I will look for them if I can get on them in some kind of shape or manner. I don't know. Maybe I'll make some crazy parlay tonight, but Patrick Cantlay is where I'm starting. I love the setup, the smaller greens. T15 at Torrey last year, his best US Open result. He just bounced back so well with that putter at Memorial. And that's the big thing with me. I mean, when he gets confident with that club, he just gets in that zone and he gets very confident, like no one's going to beat him. So we saw in the FedEx Cup playoffs last year. I think he's very live. We do have some news here too. And this isn't really anything official, but the rounds are being made about Jordan Spieth today that he's not feeling well and he left the range and he's a little bit up in the air right now. So I don't really know. I just wanted to get that out there for people. It is what it is. If you got him in DFS, it's something that you're probably going to want to monitor a little bit. Maybe get up before lock. I don't know. As far as betting, I wasn't really thinking about Jordan Spieth this week anyways. so it's not going to affect me.
But keep in mind, the first alternate in this tournament is Ricky Fowler. So that would put Ricky Fowler in the field if Jordan Spieth pulled out. So keep that in mind.
Hey, Ricky's been playing okay. I mean, it's not.
Yeah,
he's been playing okay. He's got a good U.S. Open record. I'm not going to go out there and bet him, but maybe he'll get in the mix too. Who knows?
He was a 6-foot putt from a playoff for qualifying at qualification and just lifted out and then ended up as the first alternate of the list of alternates at all the different regional sites.
What a story that would be, though. Getting in,
incredible to be last guy in and then like pull out a top 10, and because remember he's not eligible for majors, especially if he goes to the Lift Tour. So he's out of eligibility, so he could play his way into the Open Championship, into the Masters next year with a top 5. Like he could, there's some things here that he could do. So something definitely worth keeping an eye on. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And like one thing Ricky's has done, weirdly enough, like over the last few years when he's been terrible, he's still like been okay in the majors. He was T8 at the PGA last year. He makes some cuts. So yeah, I don't hate that idea, just to look at Ricky. And again, I'm not necessarily saying to win, but like things like top 20 odds, live top 20 odds, maybe for showdown, maybe for like matchups. So something to look for Ricky. Is Sam Burns? Is Sam Burns like a must bet this week for you, or is it like are you? Because at plus 2,800, I look at him, and then you look at guys like Cam Smith, and it's just like his odds just seem like he's not getting enough respect. I think it was actually at plus 3,000 earlier, but he's come down a bit.
Yeah, I saw a 35 floating out there as well. Burns at these prices, I think is pretty strong. Out more at 35 than 28, of course, but I still think at 28 it's definitely a play. Fitzpatrick. I mean, he won the U.S. Amateur in 2013 on this course, so he's got to feel pretty good. So I think those two guys in that range are definitely where I want to be. I don't want to be anywhere near Finau. Hovland just hasn't played well as of late. I think he's going to be a great player long term, but he's certainly not somebody I want to see. Dustin Johnson can't beat a bunch of scrubs for billions of dollars. So, like, why would we fire anything with him? Who would you rather have? The 3,500 on Dustin Johnson or 3,000 on a guy who's playing well, has won on this course? At 3,000, and Burns just, what does Burns have to do to get some respect from the board? Like, I guess just win 2 tournaments would probably be what it is, because he's already won 1. So, and then Oosthuizen at 4. Like, did anybody watch Live last week? Am I the only one who watched it? Like, Oosthuizen can't play. Like, no, just get me out of here. His teammates carried him. No.
It's a history. The odds on Louis is all based on history. He's been insanely good at this event, but you're right. I mean, he was like, if you did watch Louis play last week, I don't even know how he finished top 20 in that field. He was terrible. Like, he was legitimately bad. So I'm sure he's Louis, so he'll probably come and he'll probably hit some quality shots and somehow like lift himself in the top 20. But yeah, I mean, plus 4,000 is ridiculous. I don't want to say he has no chance, but like I don't think he's got a chance this week. So I look at that range, and Berger and Sungjae. Sungjae was, I think, plus, his odds have definitely come down. Berger's just been sitting at plus 4,000. And again, like he's not on Sam Burns' level, I don't think, but I do think Berger has like a lot of game in him. And I think he's another player who's just continually underrated. Like, you're throwing out, who would you rather have, Burns at there or Dustin Johnson? I'd rather have Berger at plus 4,000 than Dustin Johnson. Like, I think Berger, he probably should have closed out the Honda Classic. He's won at some classic style venues that I think suit very well to this course, like Pebble, and even like TPC Southwind, another course with small greens, multiple top 10s at the US Open. I think Berger's a really good bet. I think he's a good DFS play this week too. So that's kind of my guy in that range.
Yeah, I like where you're at. So I'm checking Berger right now. I think the reason he's so fallen down is T50 Masters cut at the PGA. Yeah. So that's probably what's keeping him down from board. But again, 4th at the Honda, another place with small greens. The Memorial, he finished T5. Like, he can definitely get low. He can definitely play well. Maybe not a guy to win, but one of those guys that you want to look at as like a top 10 possibility at that price. So plus 330, that's pretty strong, especially if are we getting ties here at top 10 in ties, or is that just top 10? If it's dead heat, it's still not bad even at dead heat at plus 330. So I kind of like where you're thinking there, but again, to win might be just a little too tough considering.
Yeah, his short game is like, his putter was fantastic Memorial, but his short game, he'll need to he'll need to have like an all-time week here, like for with his short game, because that ultimately, he'll miss a green, he'll flub a chip, and then it'll be over. That's probably what, if Berger is in contention, that's probably what his Sunday will look like. But he's definitely a guy who can get himself in there. And like I said, for DFS, I love that upside. And for betting, top 20, top 10, probably a little bit better bet than to win. But I mean, I like his chances more than a lot of those guys. So anyone else in that range though, like that is there someone flying under the radar that you kind of like? I mean, we dusted over Morikawa at plus 3,000, whose odds just seem ridiculous, but he's clearly just he's fighting. So he even talked. I've read something on Twitter today. He says he can't hit a fade anymore, where the ball is only drawing. I don't know if you saw this, but he can only hit a draw now. That's legitimately what he came out and said. I don't know. I mean, I don't even know what that means, but I know what it means, but it just means that he doesn't have control of his ball, which is a little scary going into US Open. So
you would think a guy who's already won 2 majors would be able to figure out how to fly a ball from left to right a little bit. Yeah. Shout out Colin, doing it for the 2L Collins, all of us out here in solidarity. He could definitely play at this level, but if he's having struggles right now, but explain to me, you've got Cantlay. My guy is Mito. How is Mito? Okay, so Mito gives away on the 72nd hole a major. The following week comes back and still makes a top 10 after what has to be the most emotionally damaging moment of his life. Yeah. And he goes to the Memorial and gets T13. Tell me this guy can't win here. Tell me this guy can't win anywhere in the world. This at these prices, I just feel like this is a bargain and a half. Like if Mito Pereira is there on the leaderboard on Sunday, you're not going to be surprised. You're going to be like, oh, he's been here, and you're getting 45-1 here. Like what world am I not seeing? What's the part of his game that he needs that I'm not seeing that he can't win a U.S. Open?
So first of all, I'm a huge Mito guy. I was betting Mito on the Korn Ferry Tour like pre-pandemic when he got his first win. And this guy, I love him. He's absolutely nails, man. He will come out and you saw it at the PGA. He's aggressive, and yeah, it cost him a bit, but like he's got that full game and he will go for it. And I do think like big wins are in his future. The thing that's keeping him down, and I think the thing that's keeping people off him, is just the experience factor. I mean, yeah, I'm just bringing up his thing. His approach game is just off the charts right now. It's ridiculous. So like 3-4 gain strokes, sick. And his off the tee game is just as good, but it will be his 3rd US Open. I actually didn't realize. I thought he'd only played once. So he's played 2 US Opens prior. He's missed the cut in both, but this will be his 3rd attempt at it, which is actually one more attempt than I thought he had. And I think people are just staying off because he's never made the cut, but had he ever really contended at a major before the PGA? No. So I think there is something to what you're laying out there. I love the guy too. And
fairways and greens. What do you need to win US Open? Fairways and greens. He's 7th on tour in greens and reg. Like this just seems like a guy who can control the shots. He has all the shots. He's not one of these bombers that, is going to struggle at a place like Augusta. Yeah. He's a guy who can whip the ball around the course.
It's probably just going to come down to the putter. You look at his last 5 starts, Colin, and I'm telling you, like it's like gaining 8 strokes. Basically every single start over his last 5 starts, he's gained like 8 strokes since the Heritage. And he's gained strokes around the green. It's just come down to his putter. He's lost a stroke or more in 4 of those 5 starts, but he gained 5 strokes putting at the PGA. If his putter shows up, he is absolutely going to be there because he's doing everything else better than like most people. So it's actually like a really kind of sickly how consistent he's been throughout everything except on the greens, where it's just, putting can be a little bit variable. But we saw at the PGA, man, like he sunk some really clutch putts. It wasn't the putting that held him back. It was just, it was
a duff on 18. That was, that's what kept him from the title. So the other guy who's in that same boat is Zalatoris, who I think is the best ball striker in the world. But again, if he makes putts, I'm picking Rory because I don't think Zalatoris will make putts. If Zalatoris makes putts, he's going to win the US Open.
Yeah.
He's that good. Like you put that guy 168 out, to a small green, and he's like, okay, no problem. I'll just drop it in within 12 feet. I'll probably miss the putt, but I'm not going to make bogey because I'm going to drop it in within 12 feet. No problem from the middle of the fairway. He's the best. Just his game reminds me so much of Tom Watson. just good off the tee, strong off the tee, not crazy long, but strong off the tee. And then once he's in the fairway, his ability to put the ball on the green and just shape it and shift it, it's breathtaking. He's so good. Just can't make a putt. So if he makes putts, he's going to win the US Open.
Yeah, and I mean, again, like his putter showed up at the PGA, obviously gained 4.6 strokes there. For him, I worry a little bit about the round the green game biting him too, just with the US Open. It's going to be a little bit trickier, but I mean, you're right. Like this is ultimately comes down to ball striking. God, he's so good too in that regard. The Memorial, getting like 9 strokes ball striking alone. This is going to be his 5th US Open. Like Zalatoris, that's the other thing about Zalatoris. People don't realize he's actually been around a little bit longer than some of these guys than people realize. So, obviously was 6th at the US Open at good God, Winged Foot back in 2020. So, he's got the experience.
25 years old, 3 seconds already. Been at majors, been around. I'd feel better if he had won a PGA event. Usually you win a tour event before you win a major, but Ben Curtis exists. So
Ben Curtis exists. Keegan Bradley exists.
Keegan Bradley exists, right?
Yeah. I mean, and like these guys, obviously, like, well, as we saw at the PGA, I mean, it just doesn't matter to them. I mean, sure, you could say, well, maybe Zalatoris had more experience. He would have won the playoff, but he's playing Justin Thomas, not like, Jadon Blake. So it's, it's understandable. He really didn't even do anything wrong in the playoff. He missed like an 8-foot putt. So Zalatoris, I wish I'd be on Zalatoris. He was like plus 3,500. Absolutely. But obviously we're just not going to get good numbers on him coming off the runner up at the PGA. So it's a guy who's just, like you said, I mean, the wins are going to start pouring in for him. They have to, I don't know. I don't know if the setup is great for him, but I just wish the number was bigger so I could get on him. I'm in agreement with you on Mito though. Really good young player who, just a lot of self-confidence. So some players there that obviously we're kind of both into. Any interest in just like taking a stab with Brooks? Is Brooks just like kind of a write-off this week with all this nonsense going on? He's taking phones from fans. He's getting in fights at press conferences. I mean, is this the end of like the Brooks Koepka US Open era? I think it is personally. I think he's like his run of like top fives is going to come to a crash here, but.
So you think he's done? You think
I just think that his end of dominance in this event. I just think there's better players now. I mean,
for sure, there's better players, and he's certainly not been lights out and playing his best golf right now. I think Brooks Koepka, just on talent, is one of the best players that I've ever seen. Yeah. Now, can he get back and make another run that he did, like over having, as he did when he won, 2 Opens and 2 PGAs? I don't know. Have these injuries just finally caught up to him? We've seen that guy trek around the course with a bad leg, with hands that are not working correctly. Like he's just had such bad injury luck. If he gets back to fully healthy, he's dangerous, but I don't think he's fully healthy right now. And he's certainly not playing his best golf. I don't think he's a factor this week at all. He's not somebody that I would be touching in any way. If anything, a fade, if you could find to miss the cut, he'd be a guy that I would be in the, potentially looking at that for. But 179th in driving accuracy. That's not Brooks Koepka's game. Like he's a guy who was long and also very accurate and straight, and now he's just not there. So I'm a stay away.
Yeah, just thought I'd bring him up. He's had an interesting week too. There's a lot of speculation. So I don't know if this is like the end for Brooks. He does have that like lack of interest in golf. It feels like it's so weird because he's so talented, like you said, on pure talent.
And he just got married last week. So he's probably still got a little honeymoon and hangover too. So yeah.
He's barely played. It hasn't mattered for Brooks in the past when he's done this, but I don't know, man. This year just feels like a little bit different. So yeah, I don't know. Brooks is his own guy. We love him. I love him for that. I mean, like just, he's not like some robot out there, but I don't know. I don't know if this is like, if he pulls off another top 5, I mean, give the guy a ton of credit. All right, going down the board here. Cam Young is another great young player we could probably talk about for a bit.
For sure.
I still feel like Fleetwood has a run in him. He's played better. I think Fleetwood would need like a lot of breaks to go his way to actually win this event, but like his putter has been like really, really good. He's straightened out the driver. So if he can have a good week with that club, I think he's at least got a chance. And I look down the board here and obviously we're getting to a point where we're not in like fairy tale land, but most of these guys aren't going to have a shot. But I think Fleetwood is a player where, again, things go directly right for him. He's played well. He's got that experience. This is a guy who's like, we were fine betting like 3 years ago, like 28-1 for this event. Now he's plus 6,500 and his game is like really taking a shot upwards of late. I think that's the player I'm most interested in, but any thoughts on any of these guys like Young? Corey Connors is down here too. Rose.
Yeah.
I'm not betting Rose. Rose.
Yeah. Forget you, man.
Rose in his 60s.
Max Homa.
He used up all his birdies last week, Colin. He can't do well this week. I'm just joking.
Sitting there at 60 with a chance to go 59. All you need is a par for 59, and you duff it and you hit it a mile over the green. Come on, man. You gotta play better. Max Homa, besides sending the best
right over Max.
Max Homa, besides sending the best tweet of the week, where he said that he likes how the USGA chooses to group players. And this one they obviously did by good looks by putting him with Jordan Spieth and Adam Scott, which is that is some quality golf tweeting. But besides that, he's also played really well and is playing, quality golf right now as well. Won the Wells Fargo at T13 at the PGA, T5 at the Memorial, T23 at the Charles Schwab. But on stats, this is not a course where birdies necessarily help you, but he does bring in a lot of birdies. You want a guy who's gents to be a little bit accurate. That's where he can struggle a little bit. But at this price, like, tell me this guy can't win. Gets a little hot, keeps the ball in the fairway. Keeping the ball in the fairway would be the key for him. And then obviously his putter is a stronger part of his game, and he will definitely pick up some shots on these greens for this week. So if he can keep it in the fairway, I like his price. But this is a putter play. But for him, give me a reason why he can't win this thing. I kind of like it at this price. So
it's funny. I kind of look at Max Homa, and this is weird, but like he's like the reverse Patrick Reed to me. They have similarities. They're obviously they're almost like completely different people, but they both have one thing in common. That's a ton of self-belief. Like Max Homa believes when he gets in contention, he can win. You've seen it. Like he's talked about it too. Like he's a very positive mental guy. And I think that's just a huge attribute. And Reed is similar when he gets in those situations, love him or hate him. He gets there and there's no lack of self-confidence. It's like, I'm going to win this event. I don't care that the guys hit it 30 yards further than me, and that these guys pick up strokes on the greens. And Homa's just been really good all year. So yeah, Homa's on my card already. I don't know. I blew right by him because he's right under Mito, but he's a guy. I absolutely think he's live to win for that reason alone. Much like I used to think Patrick Reed was live. I don't know if Patrick Reed's live right now to win this event, but he just hasn't played well enough. But Homa to me, similar style player and very live. And I mean, I say similar style. Homa's probably striking the ball better than Patrick Reed ever has because Reed is just so wild with his striking. But I think Homa is very live. Definitely on my card. Wrote him up on the best bets as well this week. So that's
so I'm trying to compare the two players, Jeff. Can you find a strokes gained by cheating stat? Because I think that's going to be the difference between Patrick Reed and Max Homa.
That's a pretty big difference. Yeah.
Pretty big number. Can't quite find that number laying around anywhere. If you can find that on the stat sheet,
balls, oscillating in the rough or whatever, or in the sand, right? So
oscillating, just randomly. Oh, look what I found.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Fell out of my pant pocket. Don't know how I got there.
So I think we've covered this board. I think there's definitely opportunity, but this is a week I need to chalk at a little better price. So I'm going to be down the board this week, trying to hit some numbers and a lot of top 5 and a lot of top 10s. I think there's going to be some value in there.
Bryson won at 28-1. Woodland won at 50-1. 2 of the last 3 US Open winners have kind of been like that. So anything else, any other matchups or anything quickly before we get out of here or anything you want to touch on?
Yeah, the matchups I haven't really gotten a chance to dig in yet for the three balls.
Okay.
Let's see here.
Go to tournament matchups and pick one each.
Give me Fitzpatrick over DJ and Webb Simpson at plus 140.
The 3 balls. Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, give me that one. And then
tournament 3 balls. So we got where's Fitzy?
Yeah, I've got this for the 3 balls.
There he is. Yeah. So no, wait. That's we're talking
I had
1 3 balls?
Oh, excuse me. I had where did I just round three balls for the opening round. That was open.
Yeah. Okay. So you want
let me give you. Let's do the tournament three balls because that's a little better. Yeah, I like.
Here we go.
Oh boy, yeah, I found it. Oh, Fitzpatrick versus Cantlay. Oh, that's a stay away. That's tough. That one's tough right there.
These are some tough groups, actually. We got Homa versus Neiman and Matsuyama. I don't know if I like any of these.
I don't either. These are brutal.
Pereira versus Young and Horschel.
I love it. Yeah, this is tough.
Scheffler, Smith, Xander. I might take Xander over Scheffler at plus 180 over Smith and Scheffler. It's not a bad way to fade Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah.
Spieth, Morikawa, Burns. You get Burns at plus 170 there. I don't know. Yeah, these tournament three ball. These are some tough groups. Actually, I would probably stay. I'd probably stay to the matchups. Look for something there. You can get Burns versus Hovland. That's not bad. You get Berger versus DJ. Actually, that was one I did like, and I did write up Berger versus DJ. Dustin Johnson.
I like
Again,
that a lot,
Berger might not win, but like I think he's got a very good shot at popping the top 10. I think Dustin's just not playing good enough. His drivers, it's very inconsistent, and it's eventually just gonna strike him and bust him out of the top 10. So two players headed in different directions there for me. I like Berger at plus money.
And then instead of betting the board, where McIlroy is plus 1,000 and Thomas is plus 1,100, I believe, you can just get him at even money plus 110 as a matchup. I mean, I lean McIlroy there, but I don't want to fade Justin Thomas either. Like, I think he can be really good. And then Pereira versus Cameron Young. Oh, that's brutal. That hurts.
Yeah, that's like your kids fighting, right? That's like watching your kids fight or whatever. So
that is no fun at all. That's for sure. Zalatoris minus 120 over Finau. Oh, hold on. Let me get my 401k out here. Let me. What's the password? Yeah. Will Zalatoris is beating Tony Finau this week, and I know Tony played out of his mind last week. He played great, and I root for Tony Finau. But Sunday exists, and so I'm gonna take Will Zalatoris there 7 days a week and twice on Sunday.
I'm not quite as confident as you, but I would lean there too. Anyways, there he is, Colin Sherwin. Give him a follow on Twitter. It's just at Colin Sherwin, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
And
two L's in Colin. As 2 L's in Colin Morikawa.
2 L's, yeah, just like Morikawa at Colin Sherwin. 2 L's.
Yeah.
I can give me a follow at the Fantasy Grind guys. You can find all the stuff there. PJ cheat sheets up, some best bets. I tweeted out a miscut parlay that I'm actually going to redo tonight because I'm going to put Spieth in it because he's sick. I might put Brooks Koepka in it now that I've talked to Colin. And go Lightning, I guess. Actually, I'm saying go Avalanche. I don't care the Collins here because I bet the Avalanche. Anyways,
I can't hold it against you. We're off to go watch a dynasty in effect.
We got it.
Game 1. Let's go.
We got to get Colin out of here. He's ready to go. Okay, see you guys. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Sweat will be back tomorrow, 5 Eastern.
Bye now.